The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket studio in semi-sunny Oxnard, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And it has been so long, but back in the saddle, Mark Corcoran, another co-founder of Upmarket Media, our
Our CD?
You're not our CFO. You're our... I don't know what
COO.
COO of Upmarket Media. Oh,
I'm back, man. It's good to be back.
The CEO should know all the other positions. Is it good to be back? I feel like you were.
It's been, I forget how long, but
it's been a while.
Months, weeks, I don't know, something.
Yeah, and then producing off camera, Chelsea Froelich.
Hey, everyone.
Apologies to our good friends in the podcast world. We've gone a little long between episodes. We're going to come out with we'll have a barrage of episodes coming. We're going to do a bunch more of those Road to PMRE episodes. And I think we'll get into a little bit why there hasn't been a podcast. I mean, it's no one reason, but we are committed though, and we're back and we are ready to roll, and we're going to have a ton more content coming at you through the rest of the summer and leading up into PMRE. And because it has been a while, and we try to, once a quarter or so do our kind of business check-in and see how things are going, because we are, obviously this podcast is about scaling your business. So we always want to make sure that we're checking in on how Upmarket Media is doing as far as scaling our business. So Mark, how's it going?
Yeah, man, we're just living the dream.
Oh, yeah.
Just crushing it. Oh. Yeah.
It's, man, yeah, I feel like we've been talking about it when we've done the podcast, and it's been, it's been a little grim this year. It's just like, this slowdown has just continued.
Yeah. And we try to not be victims of the market, but I mean, I think ultimately we are, and that's where, the inventory dictates our schedule, and whether our phone rings 20 times a day or once a day or not at all. And it's just, there's only so much control we can have.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're in a great place with our market share and our awareness in our community.
Yeah.
But there's just, the inventory and the turnover is just
it's
down from where it was.
35-40% down year over year inventory. And so our revenue is about that. I think not quite that much down, but quite a bit down, because the one thing that we are seeing, I think, is a little bit, the average sale price is a little bit more for our services, because people are adding on a little bit more for their services. Because things aren't selling quite as quickly, but it's just it's record low listings after record low listings, and like we'll be going to our kind of, I would say it's I don't even know if it's our primary, but like our highest volume city is Ventura, I would say, in terms of number of listings. Sure. And we've been, and also because it's been slow, and because we've had an emphasis on being out there and doing in-person marketing, we've been going to Caravan almost every week, and there's 5 houses that come on the market.
Yeah.
And we shot 3 of them or 4 of them.
That's kind of wild, right? I mean, our county is broken up. I think there's 5 different broker caravan tours that they do, and broken up over different days based on the city and stuff. But yeah, our main city of Ventura is like 3 listings, 5 listings. I think finally there was 12. I was like, whoa, there's actually 2 pages of listings.
Yeah. And we shot 9 of them, and 3 of the ones were, the other 3 were actually our clients, but didn't use us for whatever, just like, it's a junker and they're cheap or something.
So I feel like, like I said, our market share is good. If you look at the numbers, look at the agents who we're working with, who know about us, but I'm thinking, man, what about the other real estate photographers in town? Like, we're shooting 9 out of 12 and we know the other 3 and we've shot for them before. Like, are they getting any listings? Like, what's going on out there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like stuff pops up, then we didn't shoot it. I mean, we definitely see that, but no, I think we are doing the majority. And we have been putting such an emphasis on marketing and doing this in-person marketing. And I do think it has worked. I mean, we are seeing a continual, every week, I feel like we get at least 1 new client. I mean, it's just, and multiple clients, per week sometimes.
Yeah. So I feel like we're at a point where every agent in our community knows who we are and what we do and how to find us, which I think is where you want to be.
Yeah. And coupled with that, because of our new podcast, which I totally 100% screwed up when we launched it and accidentally posted it to the Upmarket feed. So some people might have already heard it.
Like, wait a second.
But our new podcast is called Real VC. So that's REAL. Like real estate. It's pretty clever. VC for Ventura County. If you want to check it out, I think it is worth checking out. Not that you're that interested. I'm certainly not interested in Ventura County real estate. So I can't imagine you are as a listener to this podcast, but it does go back to one of the things that we've talked about in terms of our marketing in doing that kind of podcast for your client base. So you might want to have a listen to that to kind of see how we've done it and what that is like and see if that's something that you might want to try to replicate or riff off of for your own market. And we just right before we were recording this, we recorded our 3rd episode, which will be out the same day this one comes out. And I think so far it's been good. I actually think the podcast is good.
I think it's great. Yeah. I listened to it and, I listened in on this previous episode, but the other ones I weren't there for. Yeah. And it's like, I knew the client, I knew the agent, and it was kind of fun to hear their take on stuff because you hear little snippets, but to get them in a seat for 45 minutes is kind of nice.
And I do think in listening to them that it does... it brings value to our clients. I think if another realtor in our area listens to that, they're going to come away and learn something. And I think, if we are providing that value, then it is going to be successful. And it does, present us as the expert in our field. And then it will be generating extra revenue for us because, we already have one sponsor for it. And I know, we've been there are other people I know who are interested. One more is coming on, I think, for the next episode.
Yeah. And now that it's out, right, they can listen to it. Yeah. It's a real thing that they can kind of, get their head around.
So I'm hoping that within a few months we can generate, between $600 and $1,200 a month just from doing that podcast. In addition to it being a vehicle for, advertising to all our clients. So
yeah. And I've heard it in the field, people that I didn't know listen to podcasts or, I listened to your podcast and this and that. Yeah. I love Ignacio and Juliet was great.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
I've had a few people come up to me and it was great because at the last caravan I went to as an agent, I didn't know, or actually wasn't an agent, but with this, I'm happy the affiliates listen too, because they're potential advertisers. So it was an affiliate, did not know her, never seen her before. And she came, I listen to your podcast. I love it. And it's great. So I was like,
and it just becomes a talking. How's the podcast going? I heard you did that. I saw this. And it's just,
well, and it gives us something to talk about, at the caravans and at all the events. I mean, that's great because it can get a little repetitive just talking about, hey, you heard about Matterport?
Right. Yeah. It's like, hey, we got a new episode of the podcast. Yeah. So-and-so was on. So-and-so's coming up. There's always something going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's really going to be a great vehicle just to have content for us to talk about, which you want to have. And it does. And I think, people are actually really impressed that, that you can do a podcast. It's not, it's hard in a certain way, but it's not hard in other ways. But it impresses like normal people who don't produce media. They're like, wow,
right.
So,
yeah. I think it's something everyone thinks, that's a good idea, but to actually pull it off, put it out there and that be good. Well, then that's cool.
And the nice thing is we had the format for Upmarket and we had the music and everything. We just completely ripped it all off because it was like, well, the audience is not intermingled. So it's like, this is the same songs and, have the same kind of general format and
keep it simple for us, simple for our editors. It's great.
Yeah. So, I do think that have you listened to it, Chelsea?
Yes, of course.
Okay. You've been here for the episodes.
I followed it and downloaded the episodes.
Oh, okay, good, good. And gave it a 5-star rating.
Yes. Yeah. I was the first one, I think, to give it a 5-star rating.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I gave it the first day, man.
And it's interesting, like we're already developing a list, right, of all the people. Oh, yeah. When they hear you're doing it, or I want to be on it. Can I come hustle and spread my stuff?
Every affiliate is like, can I come on and talk about my stuff? And I'm like, if you pay me.
You want to sponsor it, you want to do, whatever. Yeah. It's like, it's not an hour show to talk about your services.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, because we have this one plumber who just talks and talks and talks, and like he's dying to come on, and I'm just like, I just don't think I can do it. I just don't think I can do it.
I don't think you can either.
So, we will update you guys on that actually as we go to see if we, because I think I think the first couple episodes each have gotten, maybe like 50 downloads or something, which is not that much. But, they're all quality downloads. for the most part, because, these are our potential clients. So it's like when you you don't have to achieve super high numbers in this kind of thing to be able to
actually
it's
super niche, right? Yeah. It's like people are finding it because they're clicking a link in your social media. They're actually seeking it out.
Yeah. And I think, I don't even know what our potential audience is. How many realtors in Ventura County? It's like 2,500 or 3,000 or something. Yeah. So, like if we can get 10% of those, I think we're doing pretty well. And I think there is a broad enough appeal in, with real estate for other people who are not realtors or affiliates to actually listen to it. But, and if we do start to get numbers, if we have people who are not affiliated with the real estate listening to it, that's still good for affiliates like lenders and stuff, because that's all those people are their potential clients.
Always, and those are the same people we see at all the events who are like, why are we talking to them? But now we have a reason, right? And it kind of full circle. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that is kind of the thing that we've launched in the last month that we're really, focusing a lot of our marketing on, but we're still going to the in-person stuff and, So
it's working. Like I said, it's like we've got most of the business. It's just not a lot of business to go around right now.
Yeah, and so our brokerage deals, we should update on those. And so we have one that's a ton of offices and one that's just a couple offices. And the one that's a ton of offices, I mean, it's going all right. I mean, we're getting new, and a lot of those offices are up in Eastern Ventura County, where we've been trying to bust into. And so we have been getting new clients up there, but it's just the listings are few and far between. So
it's kind of the slow drip, right? They come and they don't have a listing, but then they'll come back around. So it's like, it's hard to gauge, but I feel like we are definitely making inroads there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then,
but it's almost like so spread out. It's kind of challenging, right? There's offices that are kind of right outside of our geography. And we're like, do we really want to go present there and push our services there? Because that would be a stretch for us.
Yeah. Well, we are, and we are working on being, expanding our service area a bit. And that's, it's just proving challenging. We were, I guess, with the eye towards kind of servicing these two brokerage clients, we were talking about kind of teaming up with some people in a different county. And that kind of, we were talking about doing it in a very substantive way about, maybe forming a subsidiary company or something, and it's actually very complicated how you have to do it. So I'll just use that as a shorthand for kind of coming together in a very formal way with some other people to kind of, have essentially a new business in a different county, Upmarket Media, in wherever. And, I think it started out very promising and we like those guys and we still love those guys. And we just couldn't quite crack the nut on how it would work. And then two, what we're looking at where we have, our prices, I think compared to a lot of markets are higher. And so when you're talking about going to a market that doesn't have as high home prices as we do have here, you can't charge as much. And so there's just not as much money to go around.
Right. And we're already talking about merging with another, it's just like, suddenly it's like, man, is there really enough skin in the game for it to make sense for everybody? It was just a lot of hurdles to kind of get over. And it kind of has fizzled a bit, I guess, to the point where we're trying to figure out what the next move is.
Yeah. And I think the next move is just to be, if we are able to kind of get clients in that area, is just to have those guys, kind of more traditional subcontracting for us and kind of see how that works. I mean, that has drawbacks, in the long term, but I think, as a way to at least start servicing clients in other areas, that could be the way to go. And, I don't think it would drive a huge amount of revenue, but, we'll take whatever we can get at this point, right?
And it's just being able to say yes to those people and, just to continue to build.
Yeah. And then, we have, our other brokerage, deal, is with a smaller brokerage, but, they do a lot of good business. And, there's a couple offices and it's been great because we kind of cemented this deal with them because on the brokerage level, they want to pay for photos and a video on every single listing, which is like, bingo.
We're like, yes, we can do that.
We can absolutely do that. And we, have been doing that. It's just been a little rocky. It's just they don't quite have it worked out on their end, and getting paid has been a bit hard.
Yeah. And it's like this whole brand new software system, right? That sounded
exactly.
so amazing and has great potential, but man, the rollout has been challenging.
It's basically like to put it in to frame it, like they're kind of using almost in a way like their version of what like something like Aereo, but the difference is Aereo actually works and works really well.
Yeah.
And
everyone knows how to use it.
Yeah. And theirs doesn't. And so, we've just been suffering through, a lot of like questions that just can't get answered. And ultimately we're getting paid. It's just been like so delayed, and we're finding, we have like, $20,000 in accounts receivable with them. And you're just like, we need that money.
Yeah, we really need that right now.
We really need it.
It's supposed to be like every 2 weeks, right? Yeah. The shoots will build up, the invoice will go out for those 2 weeks. And it's like, that sounds perfect.
We're supposed to get paid every 2 weeks, and we've gotten paid. They started this March 1st. So we've been paid twice.
Yeah. And it just keeps building up. We get paid. We don't know what we were
paid
paid for.
Yeah, we get a nice chunk when we get paid. But it's like, if it's your highest volume clients and you're doing, 6 weeks of shoots for them and sending out, we got to pay hundreds of dollars every time we send people out to shoot. And that comes out of our pockets. And it's like, we got to, it's just, So it's been really great. But it's just the kinks haven't been worked out, and some of the kinks are, difficult. Like if it was just like, like the logistics of getting them the photos, we can figure that out. But it's when it's like, we need the money so we can actually pay all the people who've done all this work for you guys already.
That we've already delivered and you've already marketed. And it's like, and it's like, we have questions and we have people we can talk to, but they don't have the answers, and nobody seems to, because they don't really know. So they're like not really responding. So it's,
it's, we love them, and it's, and I know it's stressful for them too. So it's like, I don't, I'm not mad or anything like that, but it is a little,
but we came from kind of another broken system with them. So this was kind of like, hailed as like, this is going to be the best thing for the agents, for you, for all of us. And it just hasn't quite gotten there yet. So
it's, it'll get there. I'm confident, and, it's not, it's nothing where we want to throw away the deal or anything like that.
No,
we just want it to work better. And I know they do too. So, but that's been hard. So that's another stress, right? So you have all that accounts receivable, and you're just not getting the information, and, so that's, we kind of need that to work smoother so that we can actually, function as a business.
We do. Yeah. Cause there's another person in there that they work with that we carved out for, and that's complicated things too.
Oh yeah. So we're subcontracting out some stuff, but that's a whole nother mess. So overall brokerage deals have been good, but they haven't been the, a bit of the saving grace, but it hasn't just, made our lives easy.
Right. The potential's there, right? But it hasn't quite come together yet. But
Yeah. And I think, one of the other issues that's coming up is, and I know we touched on this a few months ago, had a whole episode about it, but just the, and I don't know. And we haven't actually talked about it, Mark, that much. I haven't seen you that much because you were on vacation, and then, I had to move, and I had to, all this stuff. So I haven't really seen you that much in the last month, but and Chelsea, I'm sure you can chime in on this too, is that we've had just so many more disgruntled clients. It's just,
people just have the time or the energy now to be really nitpicky with stuff.
It's just,
I feel like a lot of it happened when you were gone that week.
Oh yeah, that's par for the course, right?
Nonstop.
That's just a standard Mark vacation
Reed was
scenario.
Like, what? No.
Yeah. And I know we got one, and this is before you went on vacation, where it was just like one of our photographers took the photos, and like, had I looked at those photos, which I didn't look at them, but before I found out there was an issue, I would have been like, man, gold star, you did such a great job on this house. I mean, you did exactly what we want. You have so these extra photos, it'd be great for Instagram. Everything just looks perfect.
Got some nice 1-point shots, got some good wide shots of the tall ceilings.
And then, it's just the homeowner's like pissed because there wasn't a shot of the koi pond. Yeah. Oh, except there were 2 shots at the koi pond, but apparently not one. And our photographer was like, I actually even made it so that you could see the fish. You know, I waited.
Koi ponds are hard, right?
Yeah.
You got to snap it, but you got to wait for the right time. Yeah.
Oh God. And, you know, and so it's just, and then everything else, it's like, oh, they missed this, and, you know, look, if we miss a photo, we miss a photo, and that's on us. But it's so much of just the, you know, it's just not meeting my expectations, when I truly believe that it's like the quality is the same.
Yeah. And it's just that subjective kind of thing. Like we had one recently that one of our guys shot, and we got some negative feedback, and I'm very particular with my angles, and I need this and this. And I was thinking that maybe we shot it a little too wide, but I went in there and they're like, oh, I want everything in one shot. I don't want 30 photos. I want 10 photos. So if there's 3 rooms, I want them all in one photo. They wanted it wider than we even I was like, okay. I was just like,
right.
Trying to meet people where they're at and their expectations when everyone's all over the map.
Well, and again, though, not again, but that was not articulated to us before the shoot or at the shoot to our photographer.
No.
So
it's like, why not say it at the start or during the shoot, right?
And then it's like a panic on Saturday morning. And then that's the thing. That's again, it's just like we're getting an email. I was moving that day, and like you know, you're out doing your paddling,
right?
And that's how we're getting in. You know, Chelsea's not working.
Yeah, I get back in the car at the beach. I'm sandy, salty, and there's like, missed call, and you're just like, oh boy, all right,
yeah,
put out this fire.
So then you had to go do it, and just like, we're launching, and we're delayed because these photos aren't up to snuff. And it's like,
it's 4th of July weekend. You're like, all right, I'll just go do what I need to do.
Yeah, I mean, it just at a certain point, for me anyway. I don't know, Mark, how you feel about it, and Chelsea, I don't know if, hopefully your job doesn't affect you like this, but like, it just like crushes my soul.
Oh, yeah, well, you don't want it to impact your week. That's your time off to, you know, to.
Yeah. Well, but
the
even
realtors don't do weekends. That's their go time. So.
Yeah. But even just though the mental, like, even if it's Tuesday and it's just like, okay, what is it now? I don't know. It just gets
It's draining.
Yeah, it is draining. And, you know, but you have to realize that the more volume we do, and we're complaining about, you know, not having volume, but still, you know, we're doing whatever between 15 and 30 shoots in a week, you know, you know, you're bound to have stuff that goes wrong.
And that just multiplies, you know, like
the more you do. Yeah. Yeah. The more shoots you do, the more opportunity there is for expectations not being met.
More money, more problems.
Yeah. Less money.
Still more problems.
Still more problems.
Even more problems.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Even way more problems. Yeah. So that's been getting me down a little, I got to say.
Yeah.
And it's not like like you said, something obvious that we missed a room, or it's not something that we're intentionally doing, or we made a mistake. It's just their impression of what should have been done or wasn't done. Or
And some of it, you know, too, is post-production. Oh, you know, this is the wrong color gray. And it's like, okay, well, we'll make it more gray.
We'll fix it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and usually it's been fixable, but then I don't know. It's just people get bitchy, and it's just like, oh, why do you have to be bitchy?
Right. Yeah. The tone sometimes is interesting. And then you find you get there in person and they're just like, you know, totally different, and they're apologetic and they're not much nicer. So it's just like, put out the fire and move on. Yeah.
I don't know. So it's hard.
It just comes with the territory as creatives. You know, it's hard to do customer service with that.
At least, I mean, I guess one way to look at it is at least it's something that's workable or fixable. Like you shoot a house, you need to go reshoot it. If you miss a wedding or you're doing some other kind of creative field, and it's like really like that kind of stress of the moment was missed and you messed up or whatever, it's different.
Yeah.
So I get that it gets you down. I try not to let it, but it's just like it's inevitable, and it's
it doesn't. You know, it's even less that it gets me down, but it's just like I feel like I can just feel my shoulders like you know, I just my shoulders just drop, and you know, and I still have that. I do, as much as I've worked on it, I still sometimes have that kind of scarcity mentality, and you're like, oh great, our business is over. Yeah, they're going to not use this anymore, and we're going to have to close.
We're not even good at this. We're terrible. This is like, what are we even doing?
Totally.
That's why I'm constantly reminding Reed to stay positive all the time. Whenever I talk to him on the phone, I'm like, it's okay. It's going to work out. Everything's going to be good. Stay positive.
Am I teetering on the edge that much?
No, just when I hear you say that, I always remind you. It'll turn around. You can't think like that.
No. See,
turn that frown upside down.
Isn't this is why we have Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. We're having a little session.
Well, it's true.
Right
the
now.
more of that you put out, it's just going to keep coming back like that. You have to be
well, it's
positive about it.
You know, it as we've talked about ad nauseum, you know, realtors can be hard to work with. And, you know, and that, you know, Mark kind of bore out in another way last week. Because we can go ahead and talk about it, but we had an employee quit.
Yeah. Unexpectedly too. Like, right? We were trying to like have him double down, right?
I went the complete opposite direction.
We were taking him out to lunch to say, hey, can we give you more work?
Mm-hmm. And then, the head rubbing started. Man, I've been thinking a lot. And I was like, okay.
Oh, and I skipped out on that lunch. I was going to go to, so Mark had to do it on his own.
Last minute. Yeah. I was like, all right, I got this. I'll just, get them going and it's all good. Not a problem. And And look, obviously, as you guys all know, we're amazing bosses. So it wasn't anything to do with the team or, you know, his bosses. But he just didn't like the work. Yeah. And I think part of not liking the work is he didn't like realtors. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have a real interest in houses. He's a creative guy and likes doing video.
Yeah.
But it was just the point of like, he's not fulfilled anymore. And
it's
didn't matter if we doubled his pay or gave him more hours, less hours, whatever it is. It's just like the work is the work, right?
Yeah.
And that's the draining part you were talking about.
Yeah.
As a creative, he was done.
Yeah. Yeah. But it goes to, and I think he wouldn't have to deal with that pushback on the backside, right? Because, we shield our shooters from that when we get because I don't want to, damage their confidence to be like, if they did something wrong, absolutely. We have to tell them and say, make sure you check for that other bathroom.
Yeah. Don't forget the floor plan.
Yeah. Or whatever the constructive criticism you can give is fine. But just when it's just like, you didn't get a picture of the koi pond, I'm not going to tell them that. It's like, why does it? It's just because it just ends up being frustrating. And so even though we shielded him from that, he still just hated it apparently so much that he has to quit.
Yeah. Just looking for something more fulfilling creatively, I think. And he's in a position where he can do that and take time and figure out what that is. So so that's a blow. And, something we talk about in our SWOT analysis that we love our team, but it's like our team is so small that when one or two of them are gone or something happens, it has a major impact on our.
Well, and so what precipitated that, two things. I think, as we've talked about before, we always want to try to have like, check-ins with our employees, and especially, I guess, Chelsea, we don't have check-in lunches with you. We should, but once or twice a year, just take your employee out for lunch, and just to say, not do a performance review, but to say, hey, how, what could we do better, or just, how are you feeling, that kind of thing. And so we want to do that anyway. But what precipitated this specifically was that our other kind of main video shooter is, is at a point where they're burnt out and want to work a bit less.
It's kind of our longest term employee. He's been doing it for multiple years.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, well then we're going to need to kind of offload a lot of his video work to our other person who can do video. So let's just take him out to lunch and just make sure he's ready for that.
Yeah.
It's like I quit.
I think I called you afterwards. I said, you sitting down? You ready for this? Like, here we go.
Yeah. So now we're left with, one person who doesn't like doing video or doesn't like their job, and they're our only person who can do video, and we do more video than ever now. So it's a real great place to be for us.
But we're pivoting, right? We have a plan. I think it's going to be a good plan. I've never been a video shooter, but I'm going to be a video shooter now.
Yeah.
And so is our other employee, who's also kind of a solo photo, Matterport, aerials. Yeah. It's like a perfect opportunity to.
Chelsea's going to start doing video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Chelsea and I'll do videos. Reed will just do photo shoots and floor plans.
Just do photo shoot. Yeah. And admin.
Yeah. Perfect. That's our solution.
Yeah. So we are going to train up our remaining employees who actually like their work, or seem to, including me. I'm going to retrain because I developed along with Liz our video product. I was out shooting all of it for years, a long time ago, but I haven't shot video since Dustin came aboard, 4 years ago. So I kind of got to relearn. And since then I used to just use a slider, now we're using the gimbal.
It's pretty much old gimbal and drone.
Yeah.
Now,
And so I'm just not, I'm ace at drone, but, the gimbal I'm not so confident on. So, I can do it. Obviously, as you all know, I don't want to, but sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, Mark.
We absolutely do. Yeah. We want to have those backups and those redundancies where it's just like not that one person who goes on vacation or quits. And then suddenly you're really in a
and it's something
spot.
we've been thinking about anyway, of like the more, you really want to make sure that I think all your employees can do all the services, and that really puts you in a stronger position.
Way better,
And so when you have someone, and it's easier, we've always done that with anyone who comes on with video skills, it's been much easier to teach them the photography side of it. Yeah. It's just the photographers moving to video is not easy. But we're gonna do that. And I think, I'm actually excited for Mark to do video because I think it's gonna, from my perspective anyway. And let me talk about your psyche. Let me talk about your psyche, Mark. That I'm an expert in, is that, I do think it will maybe freshen up that experience for you, give you something.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And I think and I know Chelsea agrees, and is that you would be really good at it. I'm pretty sure you'd be really good at video.
Yeah, I'm sure
I think so.
Yeah, because
you have the eye when you post the reels, the videos you've made for Instagram, they're great. So I think you will be natural at it.
Yeah. And I think Mark has a really, a lot of attention to detail, is very technical,
exactly.
And is creative. I mean, those are the skills that you need to do the video. So I think you'll be, I'm sure, way better than me.
Please. I mean, I've watched how many thousands of them at this point and been there. Yeah. It's just, it's a matter of grabbing the gimbal and doing it.
Exactly. And I think we've really simplified our video product to a certain extent, and we have kind of our bigger, our cinematic twilight videos with the day to night transitions. And those are trickier. And we're not going to train on those right now, but I think because we're also, for the most part, outsourcing our video editing now.
Yeah. That's a huge part of it.
I think we're not in quite as dire straits if we would have been a year ago or,
Yeah, because obviously training on the shooting and then the editing part, that's a whole different beast to tackle. But
and
it's much more trainable and much more formulaic. And So I'm kind of excited about it. I mean,
good. Well, and here's honestly, the other silver lining is, like, because we've been down so much, we've kind of been over, we have too much capacity. And it's been many weeks of struggle to get our employees enough hours, and because we don't have a contracted number of hours we have to give them, but we want them to pay their bills, and so to take one out of the equation, has benefits for us. I think is a little daunting, but I think if our labor costs can go down a bit, that's going to be really helpful. To be bluntly honest.
Sure, yeah, and I think with the remaining crew that we do have enough capacity to handle through the rest of the year, and then assess from there. And we have someone else who's kind of training and in the wings that we can bring out more if we need to. So I think we're okay. Yeah.
Everyone, we're okay. So let's take a break. Social media sidebar coming up. We got a lot more talk about our business in the last half. And, we're not going to get out of here without action items. They're coming. Stick around. Mark, come on, Aereo.
We live and breathe our Aereo.
All been said before, but that's not going to stop us from saying it again. It's probably the best all-in-one platform for helping to grow your real estate.
Probably.
Business.
It is for sure. Yeah,
for sure. Come on. Who are we kidding? Always with the new updates. Yeah. Always stuff going on. Super responsive.
We just got the big email summer release coming. They got a bunch of updates they're throwing at us.
And and we have a lot of inside. Oh no, wait, no, we don't have any inside information. I feel like they should feed us more inside information so we can tease this stuff. But there are some major summer updates coming, which I'm sure are going to be very exciting.
Yeah. And the new thing too, I don't know if you mentioned this on the last one, is their Facebook group it's kind of a user Facebook group that's been, I think it was initially for them to kind of send out their updates, but now it's become like, almost like a user group, and it's just like interactive, and it's, what about this feature, and why didn't we do that? And it seems to be
I asked a question. Well. I asked a question in there and then got roasted. And then
That's right.
But also got a direct answer from Aereo on how to do the task that I was trying to accomplish.
Oh, so, I didn't see that part.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked.
Awesome.
So if you want that, I mean, I'm sure you might be able to get in that Facebook group without being a user of Aereo, but why would you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Our advice, become a user of Aereo, get in that Facebook group, and all your prayers and answers and everything all your prayers will be answered. Life will be better.
Mm-hmm.
Life is better with Aereo.
Yeah. That's what they're about, right?
Yeah. Aereo.com. If you use the code Upmarket and you're a new user, you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. Come on. Just do it. Floor plans. Everybody's talking about floor plans. I love floor plans. You love floor plans. The world loves floor plans. Buyers love floor plans. Realtors love floor plans. And conveniently, realtors are our clients and they love floor plans. So do you want to give them floor plans? I think you do. I think you should use Second Floor app to give them floor plans because they got the quickest floor plans, the coolest floor plans, and accurate floor plans. You can do it right from your phone. And guess what? You can deliver those floor plans to your client before you even leave the house. It's that quick. So it's the fastest way to make a floor plan. That's secondfloorapp.com. And you can go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket and you're going to get a free month of service. You can try this stuff out, deliver some to your clients, get the feedback. They're going to love it. What's not to love? All right. secondfloorapp.com/upmarket for a free month. Check them out. We're Upmarket Pod across all social media. Mm-hmm. Instagram, Facebook. Oh, God. Facebook, so active. Not active at all.
Crushing
Instagram, barely active. But, it's all right.
Active-ish.
Active-ish. We're posting, our Bethany, our editor, has been doing some reels and stuff for us. And so I try to post those. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, people dig those.
Doing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, I try to, I don't know, whatever. I will be better about posting at some point. But you can follow us all on there. If you want to see our legacy company, Upmarket.media on social media, wherever we are, if you want to see, just how terrible our photos are that everyone's bitching about, you can check them out there. And, also come on, rate, review this podcast.
Come on, people.
I know, we haven't done an episode in a few weeks, so this is a great time to get back into it, to get in there, rate, review, subscribe, all those things. So when we take another month-long break from an episode, you'll be ready to rock. If you're subscribed, it'll just come right back in and it'll be like no time has passed whatsoever.
Yeah. We're still getting feedback. Like we love people reaching out. Oh, I listen to every episode. Oh, I'm going through it. Just found you guys. It's awesome. No, it's all good.
Yeah, that is, for all the kind of sadness that is in this episode, that is like one of the highlights of our existence is our listeners and the feedback we get from them. So we appreciate you all for listening. And the one thing that we wanted to touch on social media, and I think we touched on this a little bit when Kelsey Curtis was on for that first Road to PMRE episode for this year.
That's right.
Is how you're kind of growing on Instagram. And right now the hot thing, well, it's not Reels. I mean, those are still great, but it's carousel posts.
Yeah.
That's building as Chelsea put it builds your score.
Yeah. Your insights, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want to look at your professional dashboard, look at your insights and see who's interacting. That's a cool way for people to interact. Yeah. And multiple things.
And I wouldn't speak for Chelsea, but she had to leave.
Oh.
So she's not here anymore. Yeah. She's gone. Yeah. Bye-bye. I know. I just turned her mic off. I was like,
smart.
Shouldn't be on. But so she could speak a little more articulately about that, but you have to hear it from us. But yeah, so when you have that carousel post, which just means basically you're adding, multiple photos in one post, and then, often, I think you want to have that kind of surprise ending, or just to be able to say, oh, check out the last one for the reveal or whatever.
Yeah, some kind of teaser, and you can do multiple media on there. Like that's what I do for our House of the Week. Sometimes I'll lead with the video if the video frame is a good starting point, or sometimes I'll lead with a photo. And then I'll tease the video at the end. I'll tease a little Matterport to you, whatever, and you can put it all in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, check out the amazing video at the end.
Yeah. Swipe through to see the video that so-and-so created, you know? It's like,
well, yeah, and we're all about building our score or our power. What was the word she used for that? Anyway, but yeah, you can look at it in your insights if you have a business profile. So you probably should, you know, if you, so many people kind of use the personal account with but you want to probably have a business account so you can get those insights. And so I think you can do some stuff. And you can also run ads if you want, although I don't know how effective that is. So we've been trying to do that and, just kind of doing the stories and doing the thing and,
just trying to stay consistent and figure out what works,
Yeah, as always.
And it's always kind of a bit of a mystery. Like when you post something like, I love this house or this photo or this video, people are going to love it. And it kind of falls flat. And then something else you post, this is a good one. And then people just, I want to eat this house. I love this one or whatever. Just never know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, what I try to do from my personal account? I just try to like everything that Upmarket posts.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's who's liking our stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, you got to goose your numbers.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my big insight. Like your
own stuff.
Like your business content from your personal account. That's the surefire way to supercharge your business.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're going to come back with a lot more talk, actual stuff that's helpful to you all. All right. So, Mark, I want to start the second half of the show here with an affirmation. Okay. Because we've been actually doing the show in a meeting room at the Association of Realtors because we found out as an affiliate we can rent these rooms out and it's like super cheap. It's like for $45 for like half a day.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, that's so much more rent than we were paying before and so much less. And so on the whiteboard in here, someone wrote, and I don't think it's for us, you guys rock. So Mark's been looking at it the whole time.
It's like right at my sight line right here. It's like a read to you guys rock.
So we need that today. I feel like
feeling good,
you guys, you guys rock.
It's a good build up, a good pump up.
Yeah. But I do want to talk. So we kind of talked about a little bit about kind of what we've been going through logistically in the business. But I think there's another element to it that I did want to get into. And it's just kind of almost the mental health aspect of it. And we have talked about that a bit, in the past, but usually in relation to, kind of the loneliness, right? Of like, we, you have the team and we have a partner and all that. And so it really, it really helps you with that. And I think it does, but I think and I'll just speak for myself, but I've definitely been, the last few months been struggling. And I think the business, I've been struggling in many ways, but I think the business is a decent part of it. Not the whole, for sure, not the whole thing, not even close. But, it is stressful to not be hitting our revenue goals and to, be worried, are we going to make payroll? And are we, it's like, it's.
And managing a team with multiple personalities and all the stuff that comes along with that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been, it's been hard.
Yeah.
And, but to bring it back though, to the reason we have this podcast, the reason we came together, I think it does help to have someone else to go through it with. And,
to me, it feels like if you're feeling a burden or it's just, at least it's a shared burden, whereas before, and I don't feel the same stresses that we used to when it was just all on you and the phone and the this, and then you're just like that kind of overwhelmed feeling.
Yeah.
This is a different kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But it's cyclical, it's like, if things are going on in your personal life, which of course they always are, but if things aren't great and then the business isn't where you want it to be, then it can feel like just another kind of compounding thing where it just kind of brings you down overall.
Yeah. Yeah. But the nice thing is in the business stuff, and I know you can't magically create more revenue, but I know that Mark, has my back in this and I have his back in that. And, it does really help. But then, there's a little bit of stress too of like, I don't want to let Mark and his family down. And, I don't know if he goes through that too, but
absolutely.
It's like, and our employees, like, I don't want to let our employees down. And, and I think with our employee quitting, that kind of takes a little, not that we were thinking of letting anyone go, but that definitely, you're like, you extrapolate out 6 months from now and you're like, well, if we're not getting a super busy spring or summer, what are we going to do in the winter?
Yeah.
And it's
if it's this slow now, like how's the, winter is coming kind of thing.
Yeah. And who knows, it could be busier. I've heard speculation that interest rates are going to fall a little bit. I just talked to an agent and I've heard that they're not going to fall and I've heard that they're going to fall. So I'm choosing to go with
maybe the seasons will be reversed this year in real estate.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had busy Decembers before. I mean, it can happen. Oh man. So I think that I've had definitely a little trouble, keeping my spirits up. And I might get into it at some point on the podcast, but I've been, my personal life has not been awesome, in certain ways. And then I have, the stress of, my mom being very sick and, and
that's a hard thing that you obviously can't fix, but it just weighs on you.
And I think just kind of going through her, final, and who knows how long it's going to go, but it's definitely, you see the end is coming, and I don't know if it's in a month or in a year.
It's just that kind of final stage, right?
Yeah.
It weighs on you.
So, that's an added stress. And so and I think that's why too, talking about all those, disgruntled clients and stuff, I think that's for me too, like when I'm already feeling vulnerable, then when you get those, just jabs at you, they hurt a little more.
Yeah, I get that. You're already weakened, right? And it's just like another thing. Like, come on already.
Yeah.
And you just kind of wanted to throw your hands up.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to throw your hands up and just fuck all these realtors. I mean, they're insane. And these photos are fine. Just go fuck yourself. Like,
right. We need that template email ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't say that. And you, I don't know. And that just eats at my soul a little bit too, I think, just in general. Like, I don't like, I don't know. It's
even if you're not the one who has to go reshoot it, or Chelsea is the one who picks up the phone to put the fire out. It's like, it's still, it's still weighing on us as the business owners and us as just like,
And I think I think all this stuff has, for me, come back a little bit into my enthusiasm about stuff. And I think, for the first 2 years of our partnership, it was so refreshing and like, I enjoy being the CEO and I enjoy, my role a lot more. And I think I still do, but even then I think that even can get colored by all that other stuff. And so I think I've been feeling, and I'll go back to, I think it was a few weeks ago, Mark, we were at, you and I went to one of the, I don't know, every first Wednesday, there's a networking thing with the realtors.
Right.
And we met beforehand and we were both feeling a little down that day and just like, oh God, we just got to make more money and we got to, and I think we kind of walked in there and I think we were both feeling like not awesome. And I just noticed that we just didn't really talk to that many people.
Oh, that was the one. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
And we were just kind of sitting back out there. And it was just like, oh, great. I got to go talk to this guy again, who I talk to every single time. And he uses this anyway. It was just like, what is the point of it all? And we were just kind of sitting there silently. And you just said, kind of as an aside, you just looked out at the crowd and you go, well, I guess these are our people, huh? And I just like that just, I don't know, you didn't know it at the time, but that just like was a dagger to my heart. It was just like, oh my God. And
it's like, we're going to be around these people, whether we want to or not, right?
Yeah,
this is our tribe kind of.
Yeah. And the thing is, I did not feel connected. And that's the whole thing, right? I just did not feel connected to that tribe whatsoever. And I don't think you did either. And that's why you said that.
We found, a couple of our agents or current clients that you kind of glom onto or whatever. And everyone here saying,
and even then, it's like, okay, it's fine. It's like, it does go back to, there's realtors I do adore and actually consider real friends. And then, it's just, but that's the thing is I've talked about it. It's no secret. I'm not that interested in the real estate industry. And so it's like, it doesn't like,
how's the market going for you? And what's that? And you're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So it really, and when you're like, and I don't know, when I put it in the context of, you know, the people at those things, and then as opposed to like my friends that I hang out with who actually feed my soul and feed, you know, and make me feel, you know, seen and heard and good, you know, and like, I think with the realtors, I'm like kind of a weirdo, not in a really bad, not in a really bad, well, a little bit like,
you're
I'm
the
just,
Ojai guy with the red shoes.
Yeah. Or just you know, it's just a little apart. Like I'm not like, or maybe that's just how I feel. Right. I'm projecting onto people, but
yeah, I think so.
Like I'm not, you know, I'm not that weird, but I am, but I'm definitely,
Ojai, you're not that weird.
No, but yeah, but I'm not super conventional. And I think, you know, and I think actually, Mark, you're not as conventional as you present maybe, but, you know,
you can put on a good show.
Yeah. But I think, you know, but I think a lot of us in this industry who come from, you know, the creative space, and we are still kind of doing a creative industry, you know, we usually don't fit the mold.
Right.
And I think, you know, and a lot of realtors don't either. I mean, there's a lot of people who this is a real, you know, kind of second chapter for them. And so you definitely get a lot of different people, and there are cool people for sure, but I don't know.
It's how do we get excited to be around that group of people, right? And want to engage and turn up as our best selves, and like, you know.
Well, now that I've been hanging out with them more, I'm finding that hard.
Right.
If you just walk in here, you're like, I don't know these people. Okay, well, maybe they're cool. And then 3 months later, you're like, no, they're not cool.
Yeah, still the same old crowd.
Yeah.
Same affiliate, same this. It's just like,
And again, on an individual level, I like everyone just fine. I just like, I don't know. It just really like, I didn't feel very fulfilled in that moment. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Wow. I didn't realize that comment. I remember making it now because I was just kind of looking around like, wow, this is it.
This is it. And, you know, to be fair, I mean, that's a self-selected thing of like, you know, it's only certain realtors go to this thing. And it's like most of our like favorite people weren't there.
That's a good point.
So you're just looking
at
selling
homes.
You're just looking at the people who want $5, you know, they pay the $5 entrance and they can scoop dinner off of it.
Right.
You know,
people are walking around with food. Oh, is that free? Can I get that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so, you know, which, you know, hey, I get it, man. I get it. But,
but yeah, you're at that point. You were reinvigorated with your new role, but 2 years and now you're just like, oh, it's just the industry is still the industry. The business is there. It's just like, man.
And it's hard. And it goes back to, and I did want to kind of address, you know, why we haven't had a podcast for a few weeks. And I think it's a confluence of a lot of things. And it's some of it is scheduling, and Mark was gone. And then just like, and you know, I mean, the podcast is kind of my thing. I mean, you know, you're in it and into it, and you know,
you drive it, you schedule it, you figure it out.
Yeah, I drive it, and so I think I've been feeling just a bit like not I don't know how to put it, but like I need to like almost like close myself off a little bit, you know, just to deal with like home stuff.
Well, you just moved too. I mean, that's
on top of it. Yeah, that's
on
top of it. Yeah, that kind of got thrown in the mix. And just to have the emotional energy to do it. Because even if we just sit here and shoot the shit and joke around or whatever, it does take emotional energy to do this. And especially if we try to be honest about things and authentic, and you know, then just been trying to do these PMRE episodes, and it's just hard to schedule because people are busy and I'm busy and it's summer. And that's the other thing. It's summer and there's no childcare, and it's just like,
throw that in there.
Yeah. And it just is a confluence of all these things. And so
sometimes you just want to unplug, right? When you need to like be present.
And I'm still jazzed about this podcast, make no doubt about it. But at the same time, you know, we've been putting out an episode every 2 weeks for, you know, how long has it been now? Almost a year and a half.
Yeah. 18 months or so.
Or 15 months, 16 months. So it's, you know, it adds up, you know, and you kind of want to, you know, I don't want to take an extended sabbatical or anything, but you know,
we've kept that consistency. We've kept the great content, and you don't want to just like,
exactly. So, you know, but we are committed to this podcast, and I think, you know, as I think things are settling down, hopefully for the summer, and we'll be able to get back to, and actually accelerated. I think we'll have some bonus episodes. We'll make up for some lost time.
Yeah, it is almost like a new rhythm, right? With having kids and summer vacation and the market, it's just like settling into kind of this new normal, a new rhythm.
Yeah. And, you know, and now we're doing 2 podcasts. I mean, it's, and I get to talk about my favorite subject in the other one, you know, the Ventura County real estate.
You get them back to back. It's like half a day of just good stuff.
Yeah. That's fine. But I enjoy doing the podcast more than I enjoy probably, you know, any other aspect of the business. So that's good. But yeah, so I don't know why we're even talking about, I guess, but just that, even old Upmarket Media, we can struggle with our mental health sometimes. And
yeah,
I think,
for sure. It's part of, dealing with the market the way it is and feeling like you don't have a lot of control over, the business that's coming in. And it's like, well, these are our numbers. This is what we want them to be. It's like, how do we get there? We're doing all the stuff we need to be doing, but it's still not quite there. And,
Yeah. Well, and just, all the kind of classic mental health stuff that I think we go through in this industry of overworking and, basically the overworking and the loneliness, but that can morph into other stuff. And it's just like life, right? We always are going to have, it's always hard, whatever. And we are actually going to have a whole episode, I believe, on mental health for real estate photographers as we go down the road to PMREs. I think there's going to be some cool content there about it. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I will be. I'm ready. I'm gonna get on the
double episode.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I'll just lay down on the couch and they can go to work on me.
Nice. It'll be a read session.
And then I'll get we'll do another episode with Deepa and I'll work it all out for sure.
Love it.
But I think we're getting over the hump, and I think, we're also, and I remember last week when we found out our employee was quitting, I was going through it last week and not feeling good. And I was when you called me, I was super down and I was super stressed about other things. And that's why I pulled out of that lunch. I just was like, I can't drive 45 minutes down to Oxnard and go do this.
That was a 2-3 hour commitment or whatever.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't have the time. I don't have the mental energy for it. And then you called me with the news after, and I almost in my head, I decided I can't take any more hard things. I can't take any more bad news.
You were done at that point.
So I think I just I remember just sitting there and I think I just paused for a sec and I said something along the lines of, Mark, this is actually an opportunity.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah. You spun it pretty quick. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
How else can we really look at it?
Yeah. I mean, we can either just cry about it and, not know what to do, or we have to see it. It is an opportunity because it does, it allows us to get a little leaner.
Yeah.
Which is what we need. And
forced a hand to beef up training and get people more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And we even talked about, it's like, I may have to get back there out shooting at some point. And I'll do it. Right. Ultimately we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. And you committed to that. Work. And I was like, all right, well, as long as we're both in it and we're looking for solutions and we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. I mean, look, if business just sucks, I mean, then, worst case is we're just Upmarket Media, Reed and Mark.
Yeah.
And we don't have anyone else.
We just go back old school and then we rebuild after.
Yeah. And I mean, that would kill me and I wouldn't want, but that's, you can see that happening if we are in a prolonged 2 to 3 year stretch of just it's just, okay, this is the new, the new normal is just this reduced thing. And then it's like, well, we'll have to look at what we can do because we just can't afford to,
and it kind of forced it too. I think we do pretty well as a business as far as our fixed costs are kind of balloon up and down as our business goes up and down, but we need to look at things that are kind of that are fixed outside of the market that aren't really going up or down based on what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we want to be just stretchable like that and flexible.
Yeah.
Because if your business drops 30% and your expenses don't drop 30%, then that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great because our expenses went up this year. So, so that's been awesome. So
got to keep paying people, right? Giving them raises. You got to keep,
Yeah. And you got to, and we got to pay ourselves and we got to, we got mortgages and rents to make and, and we haven't been paying ourselves as much and we both feel it. So
for sure.
It's, we're sacrificing, and we try to sacrifice before we ask our employees to sacrifice. So, but we've trimmed a few hours from Chelsea even. I mean, to be perfectly honest, because
kind of tighten the belts a little on everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And which is, I think, not the, and again, and I think Chelsea sees it as an opportunity where she's like, oh, I have I have my food stuff that I want to work on a little more. And so if I have, an extra afternoon or whatever.
We gave her the flexibility, right, to kind of choose what her new schedule looked like. Yeah. So I think that kind of empowered her to figure out what worked.
And she still works a lot. It's just not quite full time. Yeah. So.
And we have access to it if she wants to step back up again or whatever. It's,
Yeah.
So that felt like a smart move.
Yeah. And so, it's just, that's the thing is, when things aren't going, and I see it in the Facebook group. Some people are just like booming,
I was going to say that,
markets that are going crazy.
It's very geographical and very depending on what stage at your business you're at and whatever. But I feel like from what I see, we kind of represent more the norm or the average of what's going on, like nationally and internationally in the market.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think you probably will see people go out of business. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think we are, but you could see it.
And a lot of realtors too. I mean, it trickles down from them. I forget the stat, but it was like how many realtors have like quit or hung up their license or whatever. And just, it's like thousands and thousands like this year. It's just because if you're, a trickle agent getting 3 or 4 listings and then suddenly you're getting 1 or 2 or none, and you're just like month after month, it's just like you hit a breaking point.
Oh yeah, for sure. The thing that gets us, but we can get depressed and everything, but the thing that ultimately will get us out of that is taking action.
Mm-hmm. Action's always good.
Yeah. So that means it's time for action items.
Let's bring it on.
Whenever I make that segue, when I say the word action, it's time for the action items.
Oh, got it. Okay. What do you got today, Reed?
I got it, man.
All right.
Simple, but effective. Do a carousel post on your Instagram.
Okay.
Do one.
Look at your insights, see what's going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Upgraded that business thing. Do that carousel post. See if that helps drive some engagement. And the other thing that you should do, I'm just doing one action item. Screw it.
Keep it simple, man.
Yeah.
Save one in your back pocket.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do a whole, I was going to give away our whole next social media sidebar. So I don't want to do that. So that'll be in the next episode, but you do the carousel post and try to make it so, wait for the, the cool reveal at the end. I mean, I don't know if you have, see the awesome twilight at the end or something,
Yeah. Tease something. Get them swiping.
Yeah. Get them swiping. They're swiping left, right? Yeah. That's good. Mark.
Okay. So my action item, and this again is something that I'm working to instigate in my own life.
Oh, so yet again?
And it's creating some kind of morning routine. And it's something that I've known I've wanted to do, and I've struggled to kind of implement consistently.
Yeah.
But all the online gurus, all the people that are killing it on social media, it's like you got to have some kind of morning routine that sets up your day. Otherwise, you wake up, if you've got a family, the kids are this, you just get into this reactionary thing, stuff's flying at you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can create some kind of morning routine where you're getting up and it's just you in the house, it's just this quiet zone where you can focus on whatever you want to focus on, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether you need that time to work out, whether you need to set up your day, work on bigger goals for your business, for your life. It's kind of creating that space, that quiet time in the morning for that morning routine to set your day up. So you kind of have a focus through the day rather than just waking up and reacting to whatever's coming at you.
So like a meditation, so to speak.
It can be whatever you want. I mean, you can do affirmations. You guys rock, like whatever it wants to be. You can have a gratitude journal. There's lots of different morphs of it. And I think probably the most famous thing is like the Miracle Morning. There's like a book and a group and a whole Facebook thing about it.
I don't know anything about that.
People are like, say it's like life changing, and that goes through like 5 or 6 different things that you do in the morning, like a specific routine. And it's kind of daunting if you're not a morning person.
Oh, I'm not.
And I'm not. I'm up until midnight, 1 o'clock, and just wake up when the sun comes up and react to the next day. And for me, I struggle because my kids, but now it's like with the summer, my kids are sleeping in a little bit longer. So I have like this little window of time.
I have a child who doesn't sleep in.
Yeah. That's fun. Anyway, and if you live in a small house, it's like, there's all these challenges, and I'm trying to be like, is that an excuse, or is that just something I need to figure out a hurdle around that and make it happen?
Right.
Because, as we've talked about, there's bigger things in our business that are on my list that I just never get to. And I'm just like, when am I ever going to get this done? So I'm trying to make that work.
Morning miracle.
Miracle Morning.
Yeah. Are you doing it?
I've done it a few times, but having the consistency is
the routine
hard.
is,
getting to bed at a reasonable time, setting yourself up, and it's just like, and it's sometimes you wake up early, you pick up your phone, and then an hour later, you're like, oh crap, there went my morning.
Yep.
So it's trying to, be really focused and specific in the morning.
All right. Or you could take mushrooms. Oh, that's what that's what everyone I know is telling me to do. Reed, you need to do mushrooms. And I'm not a drugs guy. I've never done the mushrooms. And like but like literally, no, you just got to do it. And I'll be with you. I'll be your guide.
Oh, you need someone to monitor you. Yeah.
Well, a little bit. Yeah. Or it's just your first thing, but it's like a 10-hour thing. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, but then Mark, it resets your neural pathways.
I've heard. I've heard people with lifelong stutters take it and boom, there's crazy stuff. Yeah. That can just clear blockages. In your...
I'm starting to get interested because I feel like I have so many you guys know me. I have problems.
We all have our issues, right?
Yeah, but
they come up, or I don't know how you channel that particular issue, or if
I don't know. The colors move and shit. I don't know. But everyone's it's just and I'm like, well, your life's still not perfect. Come on, it's not you tell me to do mushrooms. But in Ojai, it's like you just go. Everyone's like, "Oh, I have some mushrooms. Would you like some?" Like you have it on your. Yeah, it was. Oh, you just have a little nibble of that chocolate. That's fine. Just go for it.
Wow.
And then they're like, "Oh no, but you do the MDMA first, and then you do the mushroom. So you make sure you have a really good trip." I'm like, this is for a guy who's never done drugs. That's too much for me. I don't know.
A full day commitment. Like you need to be in a safe space and like everything.
Oh yeah,
else is taken care of.
Set and setting is very important. There's all the lingo too. So I don't know. So
maybe that'll be the next episode.
That'll be the next poll.
The clearing of Reed's
poll.
brain.
Should I cleanse my neural pathways? And then I'll report back.
I vote yes because you're my guinea pig, and maybe I'll do it.
We'll do it. We can do mushrooms at PM.
Oh jeez.
No, I don't. Oh my God. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back really soon with a new episode. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thanks, everyone.
We appreciate everyone. All right. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.